hospital as well as Beyond the Gates. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts down below on the episodes. What did y'all think? Do y'all think that the cliffhangers was cliffhanger worthy? Excuse me. Sorry I'm late, y'all. I just came from the doctor, so that's why I'm late. That's why I'm behind. But yeah, I don't know where to start. I don't know if I'm gonna start with The Bold and Beautiful, Beyond the Gates. I think Beyond the Gates because that's the last thing that I watched. So okay, look, I'm confused. I'm confused. Was Haley trying to convince Naomi that she lost the baby when she had that whole little situation with Danny, or what? But yeah, I was confused by that. I was like, Naomi, use your brain, girl, use your brain. But based on next week's episode, Danny over there and Bill face again confident. Haley sees her with Bill. What else? What else happened? I think that Ted is telling Anita and Vernon that Nicole filed for divorce. What else did they show? It was something else. Oh, I don't know. It's some lady at Leslie's door. I'm assuming that's her mama. Now I might be mistaken, but I don't know. And also Naomi and Jacob telling Martin and Smitty that they found Terrell and Samantha's birth mother. And I said, I knew it. I said, we knew it. We called it. And looked like they was finally having family time. They showed them, I don't know if they were playing a game, I don't know if they were playing cards or what, but yeah, they was at the table laughing and stuff like that. And I said, here we go. I said, they was just getting along. But yeah, this was a good episode, y'all. I don't like that the story with Haley is continuing, but let's talk about it. So first of all, Danny ends up coming over there to talk to Andre or whatever and confide in him. She thinks that she made Haley lose the baby. He was just comforting her and stuff like that. Haley ends up telling Bill that she lost the baby. Vanessa promises Doug won't be a problem. Randy ends up saying that the reason why he's in town is because he had business to take care of. Doug wants to take down Joey and he wants Randy's help. And I said, don't do it. I said, don't do it. Jan ends up talking to Derek about Ashley, talking about some don't give up or whatever, be her hero, fight for her. I said, why would you go over here? Why would you take your tail over here and listen to this lady? How many times she got to tell you she don't want you? I said, how many doggone times do she have to tell you that she does not want you? Oh my freaking goodness. I said, oh my goodness, why would you tell this man that? And not only that, she just, when he went over there to her house, she told him, she was like, she don't know, she stuck, like she loved him or whatever, but she also curious in regards to Andre or whatever, so she don't know or whatever. She don't know who to choose. He told my son, well, it's either here or now, either you choose me or it's over with. I was like, you act like you threatening her with something bad, like she'll just be like, oh no, like don't do it or something. She told you already. I said, it's like he learned nothing from the doggone proposal or whatever. It's like he learned nothing. He gonna sit up here and took her advice. I said, why would you take your tail over there listening to this lady? She don't know what she talking about. She trying to convince Ashley that Andre a player. And Ashley walked in on Danny and Andre kissing. I said, he's about to he's about to lay it. Hold on, y'all. I said, look, at this point, this is what I supposed to be open with. I supposed to be saying how I don't think Ashley or Andre know what they want at this point. Because to me, Ashley already said out her mouth, she was like, she don't know who to choose. She don't know what she want. Andre over here, he seemed like, to me, it seemed like he want Danny to be ready for what he ready for or whatever. Because it was something they said about friends or whatever. And the way he said it and how he was looking at her and everything, I think he wanted her to say that she wanted to be with him. Not just be friends with benefits or whatever. But yeah, let me see where I stopped it. They showed Ashley thinking about Andre as well as Derek, and she was like, Ashley, you have to make a decision or whatever. And I was like, well, I said, now she gonna be upset, and then Andre gonna feel like he gotta show her and prove to her that she's the one that he want or whatever. He should have just told Danny the truth. He keep on delaying, like he should have told her the doggone truth. Randy thinks that Doug has lost his mind, trying to go after Joey or whatever. He ends up saying how plenty of men have tried to take down Joey, and they not there to tell their story or whatever, meaning he murdered them. Meaning he murdered them or had them murdered. Randy think, oh wait, I said the part. Vanessa ends up telling Joey how it's over or whatever. Somebody said it's over or whatever. He listened to me. He knew that if he tried to take you down, he taking me down or whatever, he done or whatever. I said, shoot, he don't care. He don't care. He over here trying to team up with Randy to go to the police. And that's when Randy ends up saying, you know, Joey owns the police. And he was like, you think that he owns all of them or whatever? He was like, he never disclosed of, you know, everybody he in partnership with or whatever. But yeah, pretty much so. But yeah, what else? What else? Let me see. Doug ends up telling Randy that he knows that Vanessa is cheating. I said, about time he said. About time he said, stop beating around the bush. Naomi asked Haley if Bill is more than a baby that never existed in the first place. And that's when she started telling her that load of freaking baloney. And I was like, what is she trying to say? She trying, either way it go, she trying to make it seem like it's Danny's fault. I said, Haley, if you ain't got this man away from Danny by now, you ain't gonna never get him away from her. Every time you turn around, they in each other's face. For him to be done, he stay in her face and she stay in his face. Hold on. Let me see. What else? Doug ends up trying to convince Randy to go to the police because he was talking about Joey hiring him to murder somebody. Excuse me. And how Malone was involved. They was talking about that. Jan doesn't want Derek to give up on Ashley. Says that Andre is a player. Haley said that she did fake the ultrasound or whatever. She went online and she got it. That's because it sounded like she was trying to say that she lost the baby that day. She was at Danny's house and Danny brought her to the doctor or whatever. I said, these people gonna start to compare notes and realize that something ain't right. There's, excuse me, they're going to start comparing notes and realize something's not right about your story. There's holes. Where did all the blood come from, lady? But I'm assuming they're going to say that Danny was the only one that seen the blood or something like that. Because I was like, you told her that, you had already lost the baby. That would have sounded like she was saying, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, y'all. But I was like, there's holes in your story because the dude that you claim his name is Sammy and all this other stuff. And then the fact that all that blood and stuff. There were other people in there besides Danny and Sammy, a.k.a. Randy. And I had seen some people talking about that. They was like, the writers are sleeping because they over here trying to make us believe that Randy is Sammy and all this other stuff. I was like, no, they setting it up that way. Either he said that because, he's supposed to be in hiding or whatever, and he don't want the word to get out that he's still in town, or he's involved with Haley. I'm thinking it may be both. It may be both or whatever. Because like she was on the phone with somebody, remember? And she was saying how she was asking them if they okay and she glad that they safe and stuff. I think people forgot about that part. But yeah, cause they was saying that it was her surrogate or something. But yeah, let me see. Um Haley said she did fake the ultrasound, but she was actually pregnant or whatever. She started crying, and Naomi just over here falling for it. Talking about something, don't tell Bill. Bill was like, don't tell me what. So Naomi just went over there talking about so she's sorry and she was willing and ready to welcome her baby brother or sister and everything. I said, Naomi, you had one job, girl. If you just found out that she lied about a doggone ultrasound, that's at least what you should be telling your daddy. I said, dog. Maybe, like I said, maybe they'll start to compare notes and realize that she lying or whatever. But I don't know. Somebody was saying they think that Randy was supposed to help her take out Bill. That's why she got the $10 million. And I was thinking that too. But at the same time, he didn't want to take out Kenneth, so he couldn't have been ready to do that. But he did tell Doug on today's episode something about, what did he say? He basically made a comment about there's plenty of reasons why somebody would stick around and stuff like that. So I'm assuming $10 million is enough for a reason. I seen somebody saying, well, a lot of people were saying maybe that's her brother. I was like, I don't know. They need to go and reveal it, though. I'm ready. She been lying too much and too long. Too much and too long. What else? Let's see. Let me see. Vanessa ends up telling Joy she told Doug he bugged his car, and he was upset about it. And everything. Doug said he handled... Look, this the part that I was going to talk to y'all about. Doug gonna sit up here and say, I think he mentioned the whole Malone situation and stuff like that, and the fact that Joey was trying to take out Randy. He was like, but I handled that with Joey. I said, no, your wife did, sir. Your wife is the reason why Randy is still there. You are the reason why your wife, no, your wife is the reason why you still there. I was like, what the world? He over here talking about something. I handled that. I think that was the second time he said that. I said, you ain't handled nothing. You didn't do nothing. You think that he didn't do what he was going to do because of you? He didn't do what he wanted to do because of your wife. Because of your wife. And I don't think that's going to be too much of a reason to not handle you when he finds out what they up to. But yeah, he over here talking about some doggone, I handled that. You ain't handled diddly freaking squat. But yeah, Darius ends up taking Jan's advice and he stops by to see Ashley. I said, you fool. He's talking about some, I ran into your mom. I ran into Jan or whatever. And she told me basically, that he kind of implied that Ashley was curious about what's on the other side because he didn't travel like Andre and all this other stuff. I mean, she do technically, with everything she been saying, she talking about she want to see what's out there and all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you're doing it for the right reasons, sweetheart. I don't think you're doing it for the right reasons. But yeah, that's why I had wrote down. I was like, I don't think Andre or Ashley know what either one of them want. But yeah, like I said, he stopped by to see Ashley. He ends up asking her if there's any chance for them. Like, he pulled, don't listen to her mama. She can't decide for this lady. And I said, I already asked y'all. I said, is Haley saying that she miscarried that day at Danny's? Haley asked Naomi if she's going to tell Bill. That's when he walked in. Danny said that she's a monster, so she just full on blaming herself. She was like, there was so much blood, she had to call Bill to find out what happened because Andre was saying, you don't even know what happened. She could be at the house right now or whatever. And she calls Bill. Bill ends up telling her that the baby didn't make it or whatever. And she just started breaking down. She crying and upset. And she was saying how nobody's gonna believe that she didn't want the baby to die and all this other stuff. And Andre was like, I believe it or whatever. And he was just supporting her and stuff like that. And I said, I can't root for them. I can't root for them because he got feelings for Ashley and he don't know what those feelings are. And he ready to explore them, but at the same time, he act like he holding on to hope that Danny gonna choose him. Just to mention the Bill's name upset him. It's like he trying to get her to see that I'm right here. Bill had you. He lost you. He made his choice or whatever. I'm right here. Because if you really wanted to end things, you would have ended things regardless. If you really, because he was determined at first. Then he over here kissing her and stuff like that and don't got caught slipping. Don't got caught already. But yeah, he tells her that it's not her fault and stuff like that. And that's when I wrote down, I had already said that. I said that I don't think Ashley or Andre know what they want. They're not listening or learning. He keeps trying to put Ashley on the spot and stuff after she already told him not to and that she was unsure to my son. It's either now or never or whatever. It's either forever or never. That's what he said. I was like, Next thing you know, they show him walking in and no, I think he did say that. He basically told her to choose between him and Andre. Next thing you know, they show him walking over there where Jan was and she was like, well, how did it go? When's the wedding and all this? He's like, never. She chose Andre. I guess she was coming over there to tell him or whatever that she chose him, that she wants him. Let me see what else. Randy ends up telling Doug that he's on board, but he wants to do things his way. Basically, they trying to take down Joey. They trying to take him down by utilizing what they know about Malone and everything. About Malone as well as the murder. And I said, y'all finna take down a whole bunch of people that y'all don't even know involved at this point. Let me see what else. Vanessa ends up like just trying to sweet talk Joey and stuff like that because he's upset she told about the bug. She ends up saying she'll never see Doug the same way after being with Joey or whatever. Trying to sweet talk him, they finna do what they be doing. But I already said Derek said Ashley chose Andre. Ashley ends up walking in, the door was open or whatever, and she sees Andre and Danny kissing. And that's when, like, she slammed the door, and that's what made them stop kissing. I said, she had to slam the doggone door. She had to slam the doggone door to make herself known. But yeah, she came, she walked in, she seen them kissing, and she slammed the door on her way out. And he was like, did you hear something or whatever? And that's when they stopped. And I think Danny asked him to hold her or something like that, said she didn't want to be alone. He was like, okay, of course, that's what friends are for. I said, okay, that's what y'all be doing with y'all friends. I was like, nah, that's why people don't be trusting people to have friends of the opposite sex, because y'all want to sit up here and do all this extra stuff. They be like, oh, nothing's going on. Shoot, hold on. I think we going backwards, y'all. So we already did Beyond the Gates. Next, we finna get ready to do General Hospital. And we gonna end with Bold and Beautiful. If I could remember everything that happened on General Hospital. Because I think I watched it. Did I watch that before I went to the doctor? I think I watched it as soon as I got back. I don't know. Alexis. Let me flip. Let me see. Where is it? Here it is. Alexis and Jason. So first of all, Alexis came to the quartermain. She wanted to talk to Monica, but he was saying how she's not taking no visitors and stuff like that because, she's sick. And I don't know, is they trying to do it for a bigger reason? Because I don't understand why they still going along and making it seem like this lady alive and stuff. Are they trying to recast her eventually or what? I don't know, y'all. I really don't know what they doing. I haven't heard anything. Like I said, Alexis wanted to talk to Monica about Drew. Drew ends up trying to talk to Elizabeth about Willow. He was like, Willow thinks that he ruined her life. I was like, Delulu. He's crazy. Told y'all. He crazy just like Willow crazy. He done lost it too. I don't know what the world going on with him. Maybe they'll show us down the line or something. But yeah. He's like, she thinks I ruined her life and it's not like that and all this other stuff. To my son, I love Willow. I feel horrible about what happened. And just, he not fully grasping what he did or anything. So I don't even care about Nina. We know. We know, sir. But what else? Let me see. Isaiah said he glad to see Portia still there. Portia ends up saying she has no plans on quitting or anything like that. Jordan and Curtis see each other, whatever. And I thought you said you was gonna stay away, lady. I thought you said you was gonna stay away, and here you go. And Isaiah sees it. I said, Isaiah, you don't know what's going on over there. People always want to run, snitch, and tell stuff. You don't even know what's going on. You should come over there and ask. Now I don't know if you're gonna do that or not, or whatever. I think I seen the preview for Monday's episode. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and look and see, y'all. Well, I said it could have been an innocent conversation. They was standing over there talking about, I think they was talking about Sewell, and she like working for him. Nothing bad has happened, and she got a new place and stuff like that, and she was showing him. And that's the part where he walked over and seen them together. He about to go snitch. He about to go tell, and they gonna end up sleeping together or something like that. And he mentioned that doggone cabin again, y'all. He mentioned the cabinet. He mentioned the cabin again, y'all. I think they saying that for a reason. I don't know why, but I'm assuming they keep mentioning this cabin for a reason. But yeah, let me see. Lulu wonders what Laura wants. She showed up and Dante was in her office, but Laura hadn't made it yet. Anna ends up telling Carly that they have unfinished business, and Brendan was standing back there scared in the mud. Britt tells the guy, I still don't know his name, that she's on strike. And I said, I don't think she get it yet. I don't know who the boss is, but I don't think she get it. That man grabbed her arm and basically told her, what did he say? I don't think he gonna let her leave. But Josh and Vaughn showed up. I wonder if she gonna turn around to allow Josh to see her. But yeah, let me see. Elizabeth tells Drew Willow needs time to heal. And he trying to make it seem like everybody against Willow. And that's what he said. He was like, everybody just out to get her, and everybody don't like her, and all this other stuff, and Elizabeth had to get him together. I said, that's right, Elizabeth, tell him about himself, because he definitely tried to make it seem like she all alone. That's what he did from the jump. Try to make it seem like everybody was just against her, and everybody wrong, and they don't care about her, and stuff like that. But yeah, then gonna sit up here and try to tell Elizabeth before he left out the door, talking about some, well, I'm glad at least she has you to be there for her. You full of crap, you. I said, you don't even believe that yourself. I gotta finish this. Hold on. Let me see what time it is. Hold on, yeah. I said, you don't even believe that your doggone self. But yeah, Curtis and Jordan, talking about Drew wanting a truce, and he don't know if he should trust him or not, but you don't let your guard down. And Martin don't talk too much, and now Stella finna be in trouble. But nobody told her to do that stupid stuff, just like nobody told Curtis to do that stupid stuff. Or Portia. They need to learn to stop doing stupid stuff. Now she finna get caught. But yeah, Curtis and Jordan talk about Drew wanting a truce. Curtis says him and his wife gonna give it another go, and it's all thanks to Jordan or whatever. Portia ends up thanking Isaiah for, what did she thank him for? I didn't even write it down. I'm assuming for being there for her. I don't know, y'all. Brennan looking worried back there, like Anna's gonna tell, but she ain't tell nothing. I said, Anna. Hopefully she tells Jason, though. You may not tell Carly, but you can tell Jason. You can tell Jason, because he gonna find out when he go over there either way it go. But yeah, let me see. Laura ends up saying how she wants Lulu and Dante to make peace with Obert. Dante agrees, and Lulu does as well eventually. Why Obert get her tail? Might as well say spoiler alert. I was like, Obert, you had an opening. You fool. You always got to sit up here and do crazy stuff, too. I mean, she is crazy, but still. Laura trying her best to help you. Well, not help you, but help Rocco, which is, in turn, helping you. Hold on. Why she took her tail in there? Talking about some, well, you trying to monitor what we do and all this other stuff. She was mad about that because they said they wanted to supervise and everything. She was mad about that. Then she had the audacity to say that she was Rocco's grandmama. And then, if I'm wrong, let me know. Did this lady say that it's Britt's blood running through Rocco's veins or something like that? I was like, wait a minute, I'm confused now. I know they did the whole embryo thing. I don't know how that worked, but still, I think they said she implanted herself. But don't they mean they related if they got the same blood? I'm confused. What the world she talking about? She said, unless I heard it wrong. I could have heard it wrong, y'all. But I was like, did she say that Britt's blood is running through Rocco's veins? And I was like, how is that if they ain't related? I'm confused, y'all. I don't know. But yeah, unless something else happened, I don't know what they're trying to say. But yeah, let me see what else. But yeah, I was like, Britt. I thought she was going to go along to get along, or however they say it or whatever. No, she done went in there talking crazy and stuff like that, trying to be dismissive of their feelings and stuff. I said, Laura, you done messed up. Lady. Jordan ends up saying how she's happy that they working things out. Isaiah said that he's occupied with the cabin because Portia was trying to investigate about his love life and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Stella back there watching and being nosy. Drew trying to explain himself and why he did what he did and all this other stuff. Alexis worried that Drew gonna cut her off from Scout. That's what she was telling Jason. And she was like, that's not what Sam would have wanted. I think they said Sam gonna come back eventually. I don't know if it's gonna be this year or later down the line or what, but that's what they've been saying. Stella asked Portia how close she is with Isaiah, and she basically was saying, like, it's not like that or anything like that. It's not like that yet. It's not like that yet. Something gonna lead these two together. That's what I feel like they're going with this. But I could be wrong. Jordan ends up, like I already said, she was telling Curtis that she likes her job with Stilwell. It's actually better than, she expected. Brendan ends up reminding Anna that if she says anything to Carly, that'll be treason. She was like, she's not going to say anything, but if something happens to Josh or whatever, basically she's going to find out. Britt is on strike. She reveals that to the guy. She's not working until she get what she wants, and that's when he grabbed her arm. If I'm not mistaken, that's when he grabbed her arm and stuff like that. And I was like, girl, see? No, that wasn't it. It was later in the episode when he grabbed her arm. But yeah, let me see. Alexis wants Jason to talk to Monica. He agrees. I think he did go talk to her, and that's when he came back down and said that she gonna talk to Drew or whatever. Lulu ends up apologizing to Ulbrich, and they started out good. But then Dante, I think Dante, if I'm not mistaken, then Dante started, like, I get it or whatever. I thought you said you was on board. Dante ends up telling Lisa that they decide for Rocco. I take that back. I think Ulbrich said something about Rocco should be able to choose himself or whatever, and that's when Dante was like, he's 15 or he's 16 or something like that, so they would choose for him or whatever. And I was like, Lisa. I said, you done messed up, girl. You done messed up. You had an opportunity. You had an opening. I mean, you still got an opportunity because Rocco is curious, and he already said how he want to get to know her and stuff. So, it's not really much that the parents can do. They could try. They've been trying, but he gonna sneak around. The only reason why she didn't hang out with him the other day is because Jason got involved. But yeah, let me see. Like I said, Lulu was apologizing, but Dante ends up telling Lisa that they decide for Rocco. Stella says that she's just trying to help and stuff like that. I don't know why I wrote that down. Lisa thinks that she's Rocco's grandma. What she said? What did she say? She said something about Laura. She has as much right as Laura. Some type of way she said it. And I was like, where is this headed? And they was like, it's not the same thing. And I was like, exactly. It's definitely not the same thing. I was like, wait a minute now. I said, Lisa. But yeah, Lisa thinks that she Rocco's grandmother. And that's when I asked, did she say that breed blood in Rocco's veins? And I said, how that work? Drew ends up seeing Stella and Portia together. And he makes a call. And I said, once again, nobody here, nobody on the doggone phone. He makes a call. He's like, this is Congressman. Did he say Quartermain or Kane? I don't know which name he using these days. But yeah, he was like, he wants to open an investigation about insurance fraud. And I was like, you dirty thing. She shouldn't be doing that either way it goes. But I was like, because I think she had Elizabeth sign her name. And I said, that's something you don't do. You definitely don't do that. So all y'all, look, the whole family finna be in jail. That's Portia finna be in jail. I don't know if Curtis could go to jail. Can Curtis and Michael go to jail for that? Didn't they do inside trading, or was it just Michael? I don't know. But yeah, I said the whole family finna go to jail for stealing and falsified documents and fraud and everything else. What else? Let me see. Like I said, Drew opening the insurance fraud investigation in regards to Stella. She finna get in trouble. Isaiah see Jordan and Curtis together. He finna go around and tell everything or either confront them. Dante threatens to file a warrant for Ulbrich unless she leaves town or whatever. I already said the guy is grabbing Britt's arm. That's when Josh and Vaughn make it. Anna tells Jason that he needs to find Britt as soon as possible or whatever. And I think he's supposed to be asking her on Monday's episode what's going on. So hopefully she tells him everything. Because if there's one person that she can trust, it's Jason. It's definitely Jason. He been looking out for her. He been around her more than he been around Sonny now. I've been said that. Lately he has been around, but I don't think he been around as much. Hold on. And let me see. I think the last episode we finna do is for the Bold and Beautiful. Let me see. And how I was gonna start that off. I forgot, y'all. Oh. Sheila thought that Lee was on that stuff, y'all. Sheila thought that Lee was on that stuff. She told her how she found the meds or whatever. And she was like, I know you're grieving, but substances are never the answer. And she busted in the door just like she did last time, but she still didn't realize what was going on. But yeah, let's talk about it. So Finn ends up telling Grace that she owes Liam the truth because he was just standing up there just talking and going on and on about how grateful he is for her and she a miracle worker and just kept on. And Hope notices that she was looking at Grace and looking at Finn or whatever, and she studied like touching him, stuff like that. And that's when Finn was like, let Grace talk or whatever. And I was like, please let her talk. And I ain't gonna tell no story. I thought for sure. I said, did Liam just hit her? I thought Liam hit her. The way he charged towards her. But no, I don't think he hit her, but Hope did though. But I said, Liam don't hit her. I said, he don't backhand now. I said, he don't hit her. But yeah, Liam tells Grace she's a miracle worker. Katie and Bill was just talking about Brooke and how, she could have died and stuff like that. That's when Bill started talking about Liam and $1 million or whatever. And I said, Bill gonna be highly disappointed. I think on the promo for next week, he was saying that he gonna make that B-word pay or something like that. I don't know. But Finn's supposed to been taking her to jail. Taking her to jail. He's supposed to been taking her to the police station. Let me see. Sheila asked Lee why she got all the medical supplies and stuff like that, and she didn't really answer her question. She was like, she gotta go. Sheila wanted to see Luna, but she declined or whatever. And she seen, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it like morphine or something like that? Bill ends up telling Katie about the $1 million. Sheila found the morphine. I think that's what she found. Katie thinks that it was strange that $1 million would be required. Leon tells Grace, wait, is that what she thought was strange? Look, I forgot. Did she think it was strange that they required $1 million, or did she think it was strange because they snuck out the hospital and all this other stuff? I don't know. Either way it go, everybody been saying from the jump, this is strange, something's off about this, and now they know why. But yeah, let me see. Leon was telling Grace that he's thankful, and that's when they stopped him. Sheila found where Lee at. She said she knows she's up to. She thought that she was taking the medicine and stuff, that she was getting addicted and all this other stuff. Bill talks about how he talked to Liam and how he regrets what he said. Grace tells Liam the truth or whatever, and he didn't understand. He was shocked or whatever. And I was like, you going to jail, girl. You going to jail. And she tried to explain herself, the reason why or whatever, and they ain't want to hear none of that. They was like, you just as bad as Reese. After everything that he did, you gonna do the same thing? And she was trying to say, like, I didn't do the same thing, They was threatening my girls. It's because of Reese and all this other stuff, and they didn't care. And Liam charged to us. I was like, I thought for sure he hit her. I was like, look, whoo. I was like, oh, it happened so fast. I had just looked up. I was like, wait a minute. I had to rewind. I said, did he hit her? No, it didn't look like he hit her, y'all. But yeah, let me see. Wait. I gotta go back. Because, Leon wanted to know why. And so they just was focusing on Hope. And Hope was like, she could think of a million reasons why. So that's when Liam decided to charge her or whatever. Sheila ends up busting through the door. And she was like, why you had this curtain up or whatever? And then she was trying to stop her or whatever. And that's when she fell on the curtain and she sees Luna. And she happy and excited that she's still alive. And I think she's supposed to be asking her next week, why did she decide to save her? Let me see. Bill was talking to Katie saying how he owes Grace. It's because of her that his son has made it and he gonna be okay. Hope went over there. The way she walked over there, I said, she finna hit you, girl. She slapped her and she over here crying and stuff. I said, they don't never fight back, do they? They don't never fight back. Now, I ain't saying she ain't deserve a slap, but I said, do y'all be noticing that they never fight back when they get hit? But yeah, I said, you should have slapped Steffi a long time ago, girl. You tried to slap your mama too, but I said, you should have slapped Steffi a long time ago. But yeah, what else? Oh, she did try to slap Steffi one day, and she caught her hand. She caught her arm or whatever. Well, let me see. What else? Grace was saying how she gonna turn herself in, but that's when Finn was like, he's gonna take Grace to the police station, and that's when Hope was just hugging Liam and comforting him and stuff like that. I said, okay, that's enough. Get up off of him. You're an engaged lady now. You a taken woman. Get up off him. Y'all don't need to do all this extra stuff. You know he okay. You know he done made it or whatever. Stay away from him, because now Carter gonna be looking at her, especially with Daphne back in town, or she was back in town. I don't know if she still is or not. I was like, now this gonna be a whole different thing. I was like, here they go with first they got us to the pier and do the whole Brooke Taylor Ridge thing. Now they finna do the whole Leon Steffi thing again. I mean, Steffi out of town right now, but she coming back eventually. So I don't know if she gonna come back and be like, I realized, I almost lost you. I want you back. Something like that. Or because Luna's still alive, I can't deal with this no more. I want to be with Leon now. Y'all know how it's been going. I'm trying to remember, what did I see for the preview? Excuse me. What did I see for the preview for next week's episode? I think I already told y'all about Bill saying he gonna make the B word pay. Liam is telling everything that Grace did. What else? Sheila's asking Lee why she decided to say Luna. Taylor. So I'm confused now. This is why should have been the time that they did a follow-up. So I want to know if Ridge going. I haven't read the spoilers yet. I want to know if Ridge is going to be telling Taylor that he choose Brooke or what, because it don't look like it to me. I said, Nick is proposing again, showing her the, well, not again, because he never got a chance to, because he was still passed out on the boat, because nobody even went back to check on this man. They laid up and stuff, and the man just unconscious. But yeah, he took out a ring and he proposing to Brooke. Taylor is telling Ridge how basically something about Brooke moving on with Nick or choosing somebody else because she not taking that ring off. Something she said. I just know for certain she was like, this ring's not coming off of me. I read somebody comment. Somebody said that ring coming off one way or another. I laughed. Somebody said put that ring back in the historic box he came from or something like that. I said, y'all crazy. I said, y'all it's funny to me. But no, I was like, Taylor. I said, Taylor, don't do this, lady. I'm assuming he didn't tell her. I'm assuming he probably not going to tell her. I said, don't let these two decide they finna get engaged or let Brooke decide she gonna actually get engaged to Nick knowing doggone well. Well, to be fair, he know how she feel too. He know that she still want that man. But yeah, I was really sitting up there looking like he all sad and stuff like that. I don't know if he told her that she fell in the water and he had to save her. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Taylor's just in denial after he told her the truth because he look all sad and stuff. I said, break it to her gently. I said, go on, tell her. Tell her what you did. Tell her what you said. You said how you gonna make it right. You said you choose Brooke. That's basically what you said. I said, stick to what you said now that y'all back. But we gonna see. I'm about to read these spoilers though. I should read it while I'm on here. Hold on. This phone right here take forever to load. But yeah, that was the end of it, y'all. That was the last review, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm finna see if I can look up the spoilers right fast and tell y'all about them, what time it is. If not, I'd probably just make YouTube shorts. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. No, it's not gonna let me do it on here, I don't think. That's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on these episodes down below. Stay tuned for the next reviews. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day, a great weekend, and be safe.